preschool teacher, I needed wash and wear kinds of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when I moved into working as a pageant coach and interview, I realized quickly that the uniform I had been wearing, if you will, of jeans and T-shirts, was not portraying what I wanted to put out there as someone who was successful.
Right.
So I changed my wardrobe. I bought nice skirts. I bought high heels again. I bought nicer tops. And I look at the outfits that, I'm going to reveal my age here, Madonna has worn over the years, Beyonce, any of those people, I see that more as a uniform than necessarily as maybe their self-expression. This is the uniform of that industry.
Right.
And for whatever weird reason, that industry believes that sex sells, and maybe because it does. So for me to wear an outfit like that in my job would be ridiculous. Nobody would ever take me seriously.
Right.
So I think if we look more at what women wear as part of a uniform that's appropriate to whatever job they have, then it makes a lot more sense, at least to me, to see people in some of those different outfits. I mean, I'm thinking of Taylor Swift's latest video that she just came out, Shake It Off. She wears a whole bunch of different outfits. And if she were to wear any of them pretty much into maybe a coffee shop, most of them would be considered ridiculous for her to wear. But in the video, they totally make sense. So again, I think what we see a lot in the entertainment industry is a uniform or a costume. It's not really what those people wear. It's just real life.
Right. But there is that Beyonce, though. She wears the skimpy outfits all the time. You've seen them all the time, you know, in magazines and stuff. And she walks down, down on, what do you call it, Rodale Avenue. She goes down there, you know. But she goes down on Sunset Avenue. She walks down there, you know. This is what they do, you know. This is outrageous, you know. And why do we have this kind of degrading towards women, this image? Because that's what I'm seeing on television now, and they're telling that, and they have these clothes in the stores too as well at the Gap, Nordstrom's. They have this kind of piece of garbage. I call it garbage, you know. And yes, this kind of stuff does need to be thrown in the trash. It really does, because this is not clothing. I see trash. I mean, they're walking around with trash on, pretty much. That's what I've seen. And you know, these young kids nowadays have no respect for themselves at all. If you walk into any kind of restaurant, they're just wearing these torn up T-shirts. These two type of clothing that they have on. It's ridiculous. You know, they look like they look like a rag bag. I hate to say that, but they do.
And again, Mark, I think for me personally, especially being in an industry where style is so important, that in a pageant or in an interview situation, there is an appropriate outfit that needs to be worn.
Right.
They need to, if they have facial piercings, those need to be removed. They're distracting to the interviewer.
Right.
Not to say that that's wrong or anything along that line, but that there are certain things that need to be taken into account. One of the things that I have to come back to saying I love about this country is we have that freedom to wear those clothing, whether they're appropriate or inappropriate.
Right.
I love the fact that we don't have, at least yet in our country, we don't have Sharia law where as a woman I have to wear a veil.
Right.
I have to cover myself head to toe.
Right.
I have that freedom of expression, and whether I agree with it or not what someone else is wearing, I have the choice today to wear what I want.
Right.
And so, yeah, there definitely, I agree that I think that we as parents have a responsibility to sit down with our kids and say, okay, what is it you're really trying to project?
Right.
If you wear the short shorts, are you trying to say I'm older than I am or I'm more mature than I am? Okay, well, you're trying to project, let's look at some other ways to project that rather than wearing the little tiny tank tops and the short shorts. What are some other choices we have? Or even as parents, maybe we need to set down some guidelines. I know that, kind of a dress code for our family. Okay, your friends wear that, but we in this family have certain values, and we'd like you to stick to those values. Right. Now, will our kids always do it? No. I know that my daughter, who's now 23, has always put a pair of shorts on underneath her dress. Always. Because she never wants to get caught, whatever reason. She's just more comfortable wearing shorts under a dress. And she's looking at getting married maybe next spring. And she said, Mom, I will have a pair of shorts underneath my wedding dress. No matter how short her skirt was, she always had a pair of shorts on under it just to be modest. And so, maybe if the girls are wanting to wear shorter skirts, put a pair of shorts on underneath of it. There are shorts out there that won't show at all. Different things that can be done. So I think as parents, it's our responsibility to work with these young girls to really say, okay, what is it you're trying to project? Yes, this is a style that you see on Beyonce. This is a style that you see on Madonna. Again, go back to that conversation that these are not really styles. This is really
a fab,
a uniform or a costume. This isn't really meant to be worn in the street. And to have these open conversations with our daughters, say, look, you're worth more than just wearing a costume. Let's get down to really who you are. And that is where self-esteem is going to come from. That self-esteem that says, look, I don't have to wear this latest style to be who I am.
Right.
So I think that that's a huge responsibility we have as parents, to have those dialogues. And I have to just share a real quick story. And these things change over time, too. I remember I took my daughter in 5th grade to get her ears pierced, because I got my ears pierced in 5th grade, and that seemed to be fine. And my mother-in-law was horrified that I was getting my daughter's ears pierced in 5th grade, because when she was growing up, only certain types of girls got their ears pierced.
Right.
And that was just totally unacceptable. She was completely horrified that I would get my daughter's ears pierced, because that was just so inappropriate. And now babies, girls get their ears pierced within a week of being born. So, some of that does change over time. Things become more acceptable. I certainly don't agree that women should be running around scantily clothed, but I think that, again, it comes down to what's the social norm and having that discussion. What's a uniform, what's a costume, and what's real fashion?
Right, exactly.